Welcome to the Lucidez podcast, where I explore everything, because I believe in the infinite, unbounded potential within each of us. This is Shelley, a fellow seeker and a lover of life's mysteries. I invite you to join me and explore your uncharted depths. It's always interesting to me to share what's going on for me in my life, but out of the moment many times. I think that's why I've been recording in the early mornings, because I love to capture the essence of the feeling, the energy, the words, just the flow of that moment. And so as I share this morning, I'm not sharing in real time, because what I'd like to share happened while I was jogging on a mountain trail yesterday. And it was such a beautiful experience that I want to share it. But it's hard to capture the beauty of that moment. So I'm going to take a moment and see if I can recreate it for myself and hopefully draw you into it with me as well. So I'm on this trail up one of the canyons in the Wasatch Mountains, and it's early morning. The birds are out. I can hear the rustling of small animals in the bushes alongside the trail, and the sun is low, and there's a warmth to it because it's a summer month, but there's also a pretty strong breeze that is cool. And so it's that perfect moment of both the coolness of the wind on my skin and the warmth of the sun on my skin. And the earth is hard but giving. There's a softness to earth that's very different than a concrete ground. And so and there's a rhythm. I think the biggest thing for me when I jog is the rhythm of the legs and the arms, the rhythm of the breath and the heartbeat. The rhythm of the mind also changes to match all of that. And so I wouldn't say it's a meditative state in so much as, for me, just an open state. I'm not focused on anything or doing anything. And I'm sure some people, that's a meditative state. But the word that resonates with me in that moment is just open. And I do receive a lot of insights and wisdom at those times. So yesterday morning, I'm jogging along, and I suddenly saw a needle and thread in my mind. I thought, oh, that's interesting, a needle and thread. Sort of thought of sewing life. And then the thread disappeared, and it was just a needle. And I noticed how the needle could do anything it wanted, but it really didn't have any effect. It had no effect. And then the thread reappeared. And again, I'm just jogging along a trail, and these little sort of inner images are appearing. And I see the needle and thread again, and again they're doing something, but there's no fabric. And I realized in that moment that this is going to be a big leap. So just go there with me, and I'll come back and try to bring this in. I realized in that moment that the physical matter of this realm is like the fabric. It's the cloth, but it's like the empty cloth, the plain empty cloth that nothing has been done to. So we have this matter in this physical realm, and it's necessary for us because we're the needle and thread, and we're going to embroider. We're the embroidery of life. So let's jump back and forth between these two and see if I can help explain this sort of brilliant moment I had. So imagine that there's cloth and you have a needle and thread. You need the cloth to hold the thread so that you can embroider all manner of beautiful designs on this cloth in all manner of colors with this needle and thread. so too is our lives. So I have this physical body, it's made of matter, and it's necessary for me to have this physical body in this physical reality so that I can embroider life. Without the physical realm, my actions would not leave any trace. It's like a needle without thread, or a needle and thread without cloth. So let's say some part of us is this needle, sort of this eternal, like silver needle. And maybe it's our awareness or consciousness, I don't know, but I had a feeling that some part is like this eternal, beautiful, silver sharp needle. And it can move all about and do all manner of things. And then what we do is we come along and we attach our unique thread, this uniquely colored thread, many colors, but it's our unique thread that we attach to this silver needle. And yet still we can do all manner of things, but there's no display, there's no scene of it until there's cloth, until there's physical matter, until we have this body in a physical reality. Only then can our embroidery be seen. So, and again, I'll just go with what happened. The next thing that came in my mind was I saw myself picking up this crystal clear glass of water and drinking it. And that was my embroidery in that moment, was the way that I reached for the glass and the way I looked at the water. It was so beautiful. I mean, in my mind's eye when this was happening, I've never seen such beautiful, crystal clear, sparkling, gorgeous water in my life. And my embroidery was the way that I picked up the glass and I recognized the water for what it was, which is more than just the physical matter of that water, same as I'm more than the physical matter of my body. And then the way that I drank the water, that was my embroidery in that moment. It sounds sort of strange, but it was so profound for me just to begin to understand more and more that the physical matter is here just as this plain cloth, but it's necessary so that I can embroider, so that I can see the silver needle, this like eternal silver needle inside of me, and I can see the colorful threads that I choose to embroider my life with. And why does this matter? One, it's just beautiful. It's just amazing that we have this opportunity to do this. And two, because it offers us, at least me, it offers me very important reflections in my life, to look back at my embroidery, the embroidery of my life, the way that I have chosen to drink glasses of water at different times. And how does the embroidery of each one of those look? And to look sort of at the whole tapestry of my uniqueness. And take a moment, for me right now is a big moment, a turning point. Lots of big shifts and changes and decisions and planting a new life and new seeds. And taking this beautiful eternal needle and possibly choosing different threads than I've chosen in the past, because there are things about the way I've embroidered in the past that I realize they may not work for me personally. They may just be old and I'm tired of them. They may never really have been mine, and I'm ready to no longer pull other people's threads with mine or into mine or think that they're mine. I began to realize that a lot of my embroidery has been pulling other people's threads and sort of believe in their stories, and also pulling a lot of threads and beliefs about myself that I'm more quickly able to see and drop those threads. I don't believe a lot of things about myself that I used to. I actually believe less and less about myself, which is both a relief and a lot of freedom and also kind of scary. It makes it actually more difficult for me to choose and make decisions, because I used to sort of know who I was and I made decisions based on that. But when you want to change who you are, I find it becomes a little more difficult to make decisions. And I'm stepping more and more, or I should say I'm relaxing more and more into a place of energy, the energy of love, the energy of joy, the energy of wonder. More and more I'm asking to embroider my life with those, as those. And these 3 words came to me a few years ago. I was staying by myself down in this beautiful place in Utah in the Red Rocks, and I suddenly was drawing a sailboat in the waters and thinking about myself as a sailboat in the waters of life. And I drew these 3 sails on the boat, and I thought, well, what are my sails? What are the winds I used to catch, or I wish to catch? And the words just immediately came: love and joy and wonder. So over the last couple of years or so, I've been doing my best to cultivate my life with those, and super hard. So many times I fall back into old patterns, but enough of that. What I want to say is, as I move forward with more and more clarity of a silver needle and a thread that can embroider life with love and joy and wonder, I see so much that I need to let go of, that I need to let fall away, and that scares me. A lot of those things I love, and I don't want to lose them. And so trusting that they'll come back in my life in a more harmonious form. That can be people, that can be places, it can be events or situations or experiences I hope to have. It also means letting go of things that quote unquote look pretty good, but maybe aren't quite right. And that right now, there's a few things, but one of them is a job that, it's a great job and would be wonderful, but something in me is just kind of like, this isn't quite right for you. This doesn't encompass love and joy and wonder. And then I go to the pragmatic, but it pays well, and it's this, and it's that, and it's like, okay, but you've embroidered that story before. You chose the logical, rational, safe, and okay, you can, and it's not like something to me is saying, no, you can't do that. It's just saying, but you embroidered that story. Is that the one you want to embroider again? And I think, well, but it's awfully safe and known. It's also making decisions about a housemate in my home. How to choose someone that I really will resonate with and enjoy, and that they'll enjoy me. And not just sort of choosing the safe one or I don't know. So it's making decisions less from a place of fear, less from a place of need, less from a place of even desperation, and even safety, and more of a place of love and joy and wonder. So, moving forward in my life, I'm on this trail, I'm running, and I got to spend the rest of the run just slowly imagining beautiful embroideries and what it would be like, what it is like to be physical matter, to have this body, and to understand that the body is simply the way that I get to embroider life, and that every move of my body is embroidery. And seeing it myself and it as these beautiful loops and curls and swirls of colored light. These beautiful threads pulling in and out of the warp and woof of this tapestry. And so that's what I have to offer you, is just this gorgeous moment in the mountain trail, understanding matter as cloth and myself as this sort of eternal silver needle, and all the different threads that I can choose to embroider with, and all the different ways I can choose to embroider. And just considering, what does it take to embroider a life I've never lived before? It means learning how to use new threads, learning how to direct the needle in different ways, maybe new ways of tying the knots on and tying the knots off and switching colors. And I don't know, the word thimble suddenly came to mind, which I've never actually used a thimble, but I know they were considered very, very sacred at some point. A needle and a thimble and thread were like life and death. With those you could do anything, and without them you were kind of lost. So, a thimble, I probably, when I get off this, I realize now I'm going to look up the thimble and study not just the use of it, but the word and the meaning, and what is it, that thimble that protected the thumb so that you could do very intricate, cool things if you had a thimble on your thumb, because you wouldn't harm yourself, but allowed you to direct the needle in certain ways. So I've just realized there's a fun new thing for me to consider: the needle, the thread, the thimble. And what might the thimble be in me? I've sort of been able to identify a needle and thread in myself, but what is that thimble, that thing I can push against to make what I wish to make, to make what I want to make? What is that thing that will allow me to direct the needle in a new way, without harming myself? So those are some fun thoughts that I wanted to share. And I guess a reflection for me in this moment is just asking myself again. I just feel this big ask, to be very thoughtful about the first knot that I tie, the first time I allow the needle to prick the cloth and press through and go under and come up and go under and come up and loop and swirl. Like, these very first few stitches are the beginning of what's possible. And to take my time, not to let fear push or rush me as I have in the past. To be solid and firm, to be the thimble, to be solid and firm so the needle can do what it needs. So those are the words in my heart today, and I hope that your embroidery is coming along beautifully. And maybe that you too find a moment to consider the thimble. I don't think it's nothing in this story, although I don't understand it completely. So I hope you have a beautiful summer day and enjoy your weaving.
Thank you for exploring with me on the Lucidess podcast. It is my hope that you discovered new wisdom within yourself. and are inspired to live your unique strokes of genius.